Hello! It is somehow TBR time again. I have no idea what's happened to September, but we're right at the end of it, so it's time to do October TBR. Now, I will do a September wrap up, just need to see how the last couple of days of the month go. But, spoiler, it has been a very, very quiet reading month for me. This is like the fewest books that I have read in a very, very long time, just because life has been busy. So I do have a book that I am carrying over from my September TBR and a few other plans that haven't quite happened, but we'll see how things go. So one thing that I did do in September, which for the first time since Rare, is buy a physical book that I haven't read yet. So obviously I have massively cut down on my book buying this year as I am attempting to read more of the books I own, but I could not resist pre-ordering Architecty by Ruby Rowe. So this technically releases as I'm filming this tomorrow, so the 30th of September, but anyone who pre-ordered direct from her website got sent it early. It is absolutely gorgeous. It feels really lovely. The detail on the cover is really lovely, but I do want to read this one in October so that I don't just leave it around for too long before I get to it. This one I think is like a dark academia romance type thing. Obviously fantasy vibes, obviously sapphic because it's Ruby Rowe. Yeah, I'm really, really interested to see how I get on in this one because I know that this has got something in it that I don't like in books. But I'm going to trust the process and give it a fair shot. But if all else fails, it looks pretty. So, that's a win. So then obviously every month I am reading the book that has been on my shelves for the longest. And this month it is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. So this was the last of her STEMinist romance set of books, I guess. I don't remember anything about this. I just remember that it's a contemporary romance with STEM. The guy will be really tall because it's Ali Hazelwood and that's her thing. I've enjoyed her novels and novellas kind of from this line, so excited to read this, excited to kind of, I guess, finish that era of books finally. But also, this is the last book on my shelves from 2023. So we're finally going to be moving on to only having books from last year and this year. And yes, it has taken me, or will have taken me, until October to do this, but we're going to be in a much better position than we were at the start of the year. So I'll take it. So then this one is a bit of a spoiler for what I have, or should I say haven't read in September. So I've got my 3 series that I am focusing on at the moment. I've got the Texas Sirens / Nights in Bliss series by Sophie Oak. We have got the Next Level series by Brianna Michaels. And we have got the Eternal Mates series by Felicity Heaton. So for the Nights in Bliss and Texas Sirens series, my next book is Sirens in Bliss, which was on my TBR last month. Yeah, I haven't managed to get to it. In case you didn't see my TBR last month, this one is a crossover book between the 2 series. So it is set in Bliss, but it has a lot of the characters from the Sirens series in it. So I am very much looking forward to reading it. It has purely just been the amount that I have been reading in September that has meant that I haven't got to it. So then for the Eternal Mates series, we have Awakened by a Demoness. This one is one of the shorter ones in the series. So this one is a paranormal romance series, and they're all, certainly to the point that I have got to, they are all male-female pairings. And this one is between a demon and a fallen angel. So that one should be quite cool. I don't really remember much about the demons or the fallen angels in this world, so excited to go back in about those. And then for the Next Level series by Brianna Michaels, which is her super smutty and super low angst contemporary romances, we have got Risk. So this is the 5th book in the series. There are currently 6 books. I can't remember if it's still being written or not. I know that like the 6th one came out this year. This one I think is between like a business guy and his maid, so a little bit forbidden in there. So very excited to get to this. So then if you saw my TBR last month, you will know that I hadn't decided which books I was going to read for my finishing series challenge. And while that kind of worked out quite well for a very low volume reading month, I have realised a couple of things. Primarily, while it was very nice and orderly grouping all the books into sets of 3, it made it really hard to fit with my mood and find exactly what I wanted to read, because I wanted to read one in particular, not the other ones that I had grouped with it. So what I have done for this month is I have just literally picked 3 from my list of books that will finish the series, and they're the ones that I think I am most likely to want to read this month, based on kind of how I have been feeling with my reading recently. So the first one is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke by Adriana Herrera. So this one is a historical romance, and there were 2 earlier books in the series, both of which I absolutely adored. It's set around kind of this group of friends and a trip that they all have to Paris, and all the books kind of overlap in time with each other. So you kind of get these little hints of what is happening, but the heroine in this one is a doctor, and I love that because I just love for the era, like the strong women in business thing. So that one I think is going to be one that I am going to want to pick up. In a very different vibe, I have Broken Souls by Lisa Helen Gray. This is also the 3rd book in a series, and you might be able to guess from the cover, but this is based around a strip club. I absolutely adored the 2nd book in this series, and it's made me really excited to read this one. These very much have a suspense side to them, and this is a story that has been building for the last 2 books. It is a very forbidden but also second chance with a secret baby scenario. But the suspense elements with how they were going in the last book, I think are really, really going to heat up in here. So we'll see. But the other one I think might take my fancy is Archangel's Ascension by Nalini Singh. So this one is, I don't even want to know, like book 15 maybe? I don't remember. In the Guild Hunter series. She has actually said that there's going to be one more book next year, but that will be the last one in the series, which is quite big news in the circles. So this series is like on the line between urban fantasy and paranormal romance. Some books I would say tend more towards one than the other, but this is all around angels, and this one in particular is returning to a couple from earlier in the series, and probably one of the more famous ones. I think people who have come across any of the series but haven't actually necessarily read the books will know about these 2, because they're 2 angels that were best friends for literally centuries before they got together. So really interested. I have heard that it is a bit of a tearjerker though, so we'll have to see how the mood fits for that. And then finally, again, spoilers for what I have read this month, but I returned to the Dominion series by J.J. Arias, which is around this like PR agency, and I'd read book 1 like ages and ages ago. I randomly decided to pick the 2nd book up. So these ones are sapphic contemporary romances, and I really, really enjoyed it so much, and it has made me want to continue and read the 3rd and final book in the series. So this one won't count towards my little challenge that I'm doing, because it's not one that was like already on my list of one book left in the series, but of course it will be another series finished if I do read this, so that's quite exciting. So book 3 is Relinquishing Control, and this one has got the boss in it, and she is like super strict and just like this almost otherworldly presence in the lives of the people that work there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that dynamic plays out when things get started. It was teased right at the end of book 2 as well, but I have not looked up any other details about it in like terms of who her partner is or anything like that. So very excited to go in. And yeah, that is 9 books that I have on my radar. I'm going to say on my radar as well as just like on my TBR, because I think when you've had a quieter reading month, even if you know you're going to have more time to read, it's important to give yourself a bit of grace. But that is what I am hoping to read, or what I think I might be inspired to read. Let me know if you have any thoughts on any of the books that are on my list, or also what your reading plans are for October. I know for a lot of people it is like the spooky season plans, and you would think, as someone who reads a lot of paranormal romance, that would be where I go. But I'm apparently not very good at seasonal reading, so there we are. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!